where you wanna be, cause you know we gon' talk about it. Talk about it. Let's talk about it. Get in here, we in here tonight. So get in here, we in here to vibe.
Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. That was a quick 5 minutes. I'm still trying to upload one more video. Hold on one second. That was a quick 5 minutes. Is this it? Hold on one second.
AJ didn't react as months of private messages.
Okay, hold on. I gotta upload one more video. What's the name of it? Hold on. This is it. Hold on, let me see if this is it. Just making sure I ain't got, okay, it's it. All right. Hey, y'all. All right. So anyway, how's everybody doing? I see 72 people in here. Please like this video, thumbs up this video so we can get into this story. Now, I'm going to put my disclaimer up while I go over what we're going to be talking about, and then I am going to take it down, okay? I'm not sure if you guys have heard about this story with AJ Armstrong. This happened a very long time ago. Matter of fact, 7 years ago, when this story happened, okay? Listen, because it's such a long, very, very long trial, I am going to refer to some notes as I'm talking about this as well. I got a lot of video footage that I want to, well, not a lot, but you know, some video footage that I want to show you guys as reference to, because this was a very, very, very long trial. This case, oh my God, AJ Armstrong, okay? AJ Armstrong, he unalived his parents while they were asleep in his home, in their home, okay? He was 16 at the time. He literally was just found guilty back in August of 2023, okay? I'm gonna show y'all some video footage and we're gonna roll into this. I'm gonna be referring to some notes because it's just so much happened. First of all, before we get into it, I wanna give my condolence to the Armstrong family. You know, prayers going up because a lot of people lost loved ones, you know. The mother and the father, the wife and the husband, should I say, had a lot of family that loved them, you know. But this case interests me because it took a little turn that, you know, you guys are not gonna believe. That's just crazy. Thank y'all so much. I see the comments in there saying I'm glowing. Thank y'all so very much. And I just want to give a shout out to my moderators, a bigger shout out to my all my channel members, my channel sponsors. Y'all know I love and appreciate y'all so very much. If anybody send cash apps, super chats, or super stickers, I will wait to the very end to say thank you, because I've gotten a whole lot of people tell me I be interrupting the conversations. I be interrupting my program, telling everybody thank you. Okay, so that will be held at the end from now on. Okay. All right, let's get started, honey. This is a lot, y'all. All right, first we're going to do our intro, telling y'all a little bit about the story. Okay, here we go. Let's go.
911 call. A teenager whispering he was hiding in a closet.
I heard 2 gunshots downstairs in my parents' room.
Police raced to the house and were shocked to find Dawn and Antonio Armstrong in their bedroom with fatal gunshot wounds to the head, pillows over their faces. Antonio was well known in Houston. He was a former NFL linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers turned motivational speaker.
I want you to pick back up those visions and those dreams that you once had.
But within hours of making the gruesome discovery, cops say the son who called 911 came under suspicion. They say he committed the ghastly act of parricide, murdering his own parents. The motive? Cops say he lashed out because his parents disciplined him over his slipping grades, smoking in the house, and other issues. AJ Armstrong was released on bail pending trial. He was interviewed by reporter Courtney Fisher of KTRK in Houston.
Did you kill your parents?
No.
Tears rolled down his face as he told how much he missed his parents.
Just to have that again, just like 5 minutes, if that's what it was, just to have that again with my mom, my dad, that's all I want.
He was poised, he was very polite, confident, as he has been throughout.
The case dragged on. 2 trials ended in hung juries.
I think the bottom line is it's really hard for people to understand why a 16-year-old would shoot and kill his parents in the middle of the night.
Finally, 7 years later, a 3rd trial was held.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Antonio Armstrong Jr., guilty of capital murder.
A lot has happened to A.J. Armstrong since he made that 911 call at age 16. He's now 23 years old, and he's married. He and his wife, Kate, have a son. She wept as the verdict came down, and no wonder. He was sentenced to life in prison.
The soonest he could get out of prison would be in 2063, after 40 years.
So that's the intro. That's what we're talking about today. You heard her. This joker was found guilty after 7 years of going to trial. Okay, let's talk about why. Okay, 40 years before he's even eligible for parole. Okay, all right, let's talk about how this young fella, Black African American, nice looking boy, son, now man, because he's 23 years old now, but he was 16 when he committed this crime. Okay, I got other video footage that I want to share with you guys, but let's talk about it for a minute. Okay, this young fella unalived his parents while they slept in their beds. Okay, then he turned around and dialed 911, and I'm gonna let y'all listen to the 911 call in a minute. But he dialed 911 to say that there was an intruder in his home. Okay, he actually said you couldn't see him because they had a ski mask on, but I saw the eyes areas and around the little mouth area. And I'm not 100% for sure, but I think it was an African American. That actually made me mad, right? Given the fact that, you know, he's an African American himself, he already knows how people blame African Americans for all types of crimes. And here he go dating and marrying a white woman. But yet, if I tell him it was an African American, they'll most likely believe me. That actually pissed me off, okay? That actually made me mad. Outside of the reason that he did it, he didn't do it because they were starving him. He didn't do it because, you know, they were mean to him. That, you know, he lived in the projects or anything like that. No. Good life, good home, good family dynamic. But they disciplined him when he should have been disciplined. They said, you need to straighten up, right? They sent them text messages. You need to get right. They called him out on his BS. They bought him a brand new car. They said, even though I bought your brand new car, look at your grades. Your grades are slipping. Look at you acting out. They called him out on his BS. They didn't say, oh, you can't see this white girl. They didn't say nothing. They didn't say, oh, you on restrictions for 30 days. They didn't say nothing. And I'm trying to find reasons that a 16-year-old may do something like this, right? But there was really nothing besides they disciplined him. He didn't like it. So he unalived them. And it took 7 years for them to find him guilty. Why, you say? Why, right? Why? Because of his cute little innocent face. That's why. But also because no one could imagine someone like AJ coming from a good family, good parents, bought him a car, spoiled child, basically, why he would do it. Not even his own grandmother, which is the father's mom. She didn't even believe he did it. To this day, she still thinks her grandson is innocent from unaliving her son and his wife. She even says, no, he couldn't possibly do it. No. But all the evidence points back to AJ. We're going to go over some of the evidence, and y'all going to be like, what? It took 7 years? Yeah, it did. It took 7 years. Now, I know some of y'all might say, Amora always say this. Amora always say this. But when I heard about this story, when I heard about it, then I heard the 911 call, and I heard the interrogation, and I heard the it was the 911 call, the interrogation, and a little bit of the jury trial that I heard. I was already convinced that he did it. Long time ago, listen, have y'all even heard of anybody being tried 3 times for the same thing? 2 times prior, it was a hung jury. Some of them say, nah, he didn't do it. Some of them say, oh, yes, he did do it. Twice. They took 3 trials for them to convict this fella. But when you hear the evidence, you're going to be like, why did it take 3 times? Why? Right? Let's talk about it, okay? First, I want you to hear the 911 call, okay? Let me go over it a little bit. Then I want you to listen for yourself. He calls 911 and he says, I heard GUN shots upstairs coming from my parents' room. I walk by and their door is cracked. So I run to my closet and I dial 911. Okay. So now at this time, he says he ain't seen if his parents are still alive or not, because he said it's unusual for them to crack their door. So that scared him. Okay. He heard the gunshots. Oh, he says he see a man, a masked man, you know, that African-American man. He see him, right, coming from his, I think he said, we'll listen to it in a minute, coming from his parents' room. He saw him, so he was afraid, right? But yet he runs upstairs to where his room is at, and he hides in his closet, okay? Yeah, he hides in his closet, right? And he calls 911. Now, let me say this. I want you to pay attention to the 911 call, because we're talking about a 16-year-old at the time that just heard gunshots, saw a masked man in his home, yet he's not. Yet he's not screaming. Yet he's not breathing hard. Yet he's not crying. Yet he's not, he's so calm. So calm. I'm going to play this 911 call, but I'm going to be stopping it because, I want to talk about it, okay? She said, what about his brother? What about his brother? His brother didn't do it. They proved that his brother didn't do it. Okay, she said it was a big story here in Texas. Yes, it did happen out of Houston, Texas. A whole lot of shit been happening out of Texas lately. What's up with Texas? What's up with Texas? But let's listen. Let's listen to the 911 call. Pay attention. He just called 911 after hearing gunshots, seeing a masked man in his house, and thinking that his parents are unalive, okay?
911, do you need medical, police, or fire?
I'm going to be police. He's whispering, advising he just heard gunshots in the parents' room.
Is this a house?
Yes.
And your name?
AJ.
Any medical attention needed?
I heard gunshots, so I don't really know.
In your parents' bedroom?
Yes. How did you get into my house?
He was whispering. He was very quiet, concerned.
Now listen, I'm sorry, y'all, but y'all know I'm going to have to break this down for y'all. Did y'all hear him just say, how did he get into the house? How did he get into the house? Dude. Just listen. Just listen. Just listen.
Somebody may still be in the house.
Okay, police are on their way.
My daughter Olivia got the phone call. She said we had to go to Antonio and Don's home, that there were shots.
When AJ called, I could hear it in his voice. He was afraid, he was hysterical.
He said there's been...
Now these are his parents, right? Excuse me, grandparents. It's his grandmother and the son's sister, okay? Now, let me just say this before we continue on. They do not believe that AJ did it. They actually think AJ didn't do it. They're putting this on him. Just listen, okay? Hey, Vanessa, I see you, babe.
Some gunshots, and somebody was here. They were in the house. I didn't know what to think.
The police immediately go through the house to secure the house and make sure there's no one else in the house.
As they are going through the house, they're not sure what they have. Someone could be jumping out at any moment.
The officers found out very quickly that they showed up to a house that was locked. The windows are all closed, the blinds are all down, the locks are all in place, and there's no forced entry.
Dawn and Antonio are upstairs in their bed, and when the police went in there and the paramedics, they believed that Dawn had been shot twice in the head and was deceased, and Antonio had been shot once in the head and he was alive but in critical condition.
They had pillows over the tops of their heads. It appears that they were placed on after the fact. What's kind of odd, I don't know why you would shoot someone and then place pillows over their head.
Let's talk for a second. Now, I know they're going to say it, but I'm going to say it first. Okay? Exactly, Kia. No fourth entry, right? No one's in the house. And I'm going to say it, but I know they're going to say it anyway. The alarm was not, how do you say it? The alarm was still set. When the police arrived, right? Because they stayed on the 911 call until the police arrived. When the police told him that they were there, when the 911 said they're at your door, he leaves the closet or whatever. Actually, the police told him to get him and his sister out of the house, right? I mean, the 911 operator said, get you and your sister out of the house, right? Because, he made them think that there's a mass murderer in the home, right? And when the police came up to the door, AJ had to disengage the alarm, deactivate the alarm. Red flag, right? You would say, wait a minute. If the alarm is still on, there was no forced entry. The police checked the entire house, showed no forced entry. When I say forced entry, they mean not just the doors in the front, in the back, the side, the garage. They checked windows and all of that to see if someone had broken in any way possible that they can get in. There were no forced entry. There was no cracked windows. There were no busted windows. There were no door locks. There was no door, no glass broken, none of that. There was no forced entry, right? But did you hear on the 911 call when he said, how did they get in? That's what AJ is saying to the 911 operator. Oh my God. How did they get in? Right? Because he's trying to paint this picture that this mass murderer broke into his home, African-American, don't forget that part, and unalived his parents. Let's continue.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for
Sorry. I didn't know it was a commercial.
checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage,
oh, shoot. Come on now.
Houston 911.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Come on.
Somebody may still be in the house.
Okay, police are on their way.
My daughter Olivia got the phone call. She said we had to go to Antonio and Don's home, that there were shots.
When AJ called, I could hear it in his voice. He was afraid, he was hysterical.
He said there's been some gunshots and, somebody was here. They were in the house. I didn't know what to think.
The police immediately go through the house to secure the house and make sure there's no one else in the house.
As they are going through the house, they're not sure what they have. Someone could be jumping out at any moment.
The officers found out very quickly that they showed up to a house that was locked. The windows are all closed, the blinds are all down, the locks are all in place, and there's no forced entry.
Dawn and Antonio are upstairs in their bed, and when the police went in there and the paramedics, they believed that Dawn had been shot twice in the head and was deceased, and Antonio had been shot once in the head and he was alive but in critical condition.
They had pillows over the tops of their heads. It appears that they were placed on after the fact. What's kind of odd, I don't know why you would shoot someone and then place pillows over their head.
Hi, everyone.
I thought this was the whole 911 call. Okay. Well, let's go over the 911 call. Okay. I thought I had recorded it, but listen, in the 911 call, like I said, he said that the guy was a African-American, had a ski mask on, right? But he asked him a whole lot of questions. And like I said, the alarm was by the time the police got there, oh, and the sister was asleep. That's important to know because it was only 4 people in the house, okay? The 2 adults and the 2 children. The sister at the time was 12 years old and he was 16. She was asleep. He literally had to wake her up while on the call with the 911 operator, because the 911 operator told him, hey, the cops are outside. Go outside. You got to, wake your sister up and get outside or whatever. He was like, well, I think he asked, can I wake my sister up? Can I wake my sister up? And she was like, oh, okay, hold on a second. Let me ask. So she must have came back and said, yeah, wake your sister up. Get her out the home or whatever. So he woke his sister up or whatever. Come on. We got to go. We got to go. So right there, that counts out the sister. Okay. Now, further on, the interrogation, we're going to play a little bit of that. But in the interrogation, he got caught lying so much, right? But the grandmother said, oh, he was afraid. That's why he lied. Scared, lie. That's what the grandmother said. The lady that y'all saw with the kind of curly wig on, I think it's a wig. She said, so the sister didn't hear the gunshots? No, the sister did not hear the gunshots, right? So the grandmother says, of course he lied. Everybody lies. He was afraid. Look what just happened. They caught so many lies during the interrogation. One of the lies, y'all, he told the officers that he hadn't shot that weapon that was found since he was 8 years old. He was 16 at the time. He said, I have not fired this since I was 8 when they took me to a range and allowed me to practice or whatever, right? But yet they was like, you know what? We looked through the house and we found a hole in your floor, right? In your bedroom. We found it in the ceiling downstairs in your parents' room, right? Oh, well, hold on for a second. So I forgot. I had a friend over the other day and I was like, have you ever shot a whatever the name type of the weapon was, whatever, right? And my friend said, no, I've never fired that type of weapon before. And he just so happened to say, well, you want me to show you how? And the friend said, yeah, show me how. And he says, okay, well, you do it like this. So this joker said that he fired in his floor, right? With the pillow. He put a pillow over it to silence it, I fired this in my floor to show my friend how to use this weapon. Don't you think that would be important, right? That he just said he fired that weapon since he was 8 years old. But now, when they checked him out, right, on the day of the shooting, he had no gun residence on his hands whatsoever, right? They checked him. He had no gun. There was no fingerprints found in the area of the like the weapon and all around them of the son. So they're like, wait a minute, how could he have done it? There's no evidence when it comes to like DNA, like being on the weapon and that whatnot. Then he put the gun on top of a letter. There was a letter written, right? That says, I don't know exactly what it said, but something like we're watching you, we're gonna get you, or something like that, right? So he was trying to insinuate that his dad was mixed up in some type of crime. Okay. To this day, I don't even know who wrote that freaking letter. I don't even know if they came out and said who wrote the letter. I didn't even research that part. But I would be interested if they find out who wrote the letter. But there was a letter. If y'all know, let me know. But there was a letter because he wanted to try to make it seem like the daddy, somebody was after the dad, right? So the mom was shot first, and then the daddy was shot. The mother died right away. Boom, on the scene. The daddy actually died in the hospital, right? So he didn't, it took him a minute to die, right? He died in the hospital, right? I'm gonna let you hear some of the interrogation that was played in court of him explaining, him getting caught in all these multitudes of lies, right? This is a damn shame. Here we go.
Murder trial. Of course, A.J. Armstrong has now been tried 3 times. They're currently in the middle of his 3rd trial for allegedly shooting his parents to death back in 2016. Now, of course, those first 2 trials ended in hung juries. Courtney Fisher's been there every step of the way. It will continue today. They are going to be talking about an alarm. The defense will be interviewing an expert about an alarm. Why is that important, and how does it tie into that A.J. Armstrong case? Well, Courtney Fisher has that answer.
Good morning. It is day 4 of the A.J. Armstrong capital murder trial, in which we expect to see the testimony pick up from where it left off. And this time it's the defense's term, A.J. Armstrong's attorney, who will be able to tackle these alarm records that we spent so much talking about yesterday. Yesterday, the state introduced those records, and the Alarm.com expert says that the whole alarm system at the Armstrong house was working, that it was set, it was on, and that there was no record of any doors or windows opening until AJ himself disarmed the alarm system and let police in after he called 911. We also heard that 911 call. We heard his interrogation with police. We're going to dive into it and start there. This is likely the only time we'll actually hear from Armstrong himself during trial. We don't expect him to take the stand. He didn't in the last 2 previous trials. In court, there was no reaction from Armstrong as he listened to his 16-year-old self answer the questions from HPD detectives 7 years ago. We're going to get into that. Armstrong telling police on the audio recording that he and his dad are really close, but he had some issues with his mom. He walked us through the night leading up to the murders, saying that he was awake around 1 a.m. when he heard gunshots coming from his parents' room. As he walked from his bedroom on the 3rd floor to the 2nd floor, he says he ran back to his room, hid in the closet, and called 911. On that 12-minute 911 call, Armstrong never mentioned seeing a masked man run from the house. We heard the call, but then in this police interview, he says that he saw a black man with the ski mask, about 6 feet tall, running from the house. He said.
So that's actually important to know. Did you hear them say that on the 911 call, he actually didn't tell them that he saw a masked man, a black African-American man? But in the interrogation, that's when he brought that up. Okay, so on the 911 call, he didn't say that he saw the guy. He did say something about, he did say, I think someone's in the house. And he did say, how did they get in? He did say that in the 911 call. But he did not say, I think they are an African-American Oh no, he didn't say I saw them until he got into the interrogation room. Okay, he did mention, you know, I think someone's in the house. How did they get in? But he did not say he saw them until the interrogation. I just wanted to point that out.
Says multiple times on the recording he's not sure how the intruder got in. Armstrong also tells police, quote, "You won't see any gunshot residue on me. Do all the tests you want." He says that over and over again during the interview. The HPD detective testifying, saying on the stand that Antonio Sr.'s .22 caliber pistol that was used to kill him and his wife Dawn, the one left on the kitchen counter, is the type of gun that doesn't usually produce conclusive GSR test results. Now, in the interview, Armstrong also tells police he hasn't touched that gun since he was 8. But then he changes his story when detectives say that they found a bullet hole in his bedroom floor. Then Armstrong says that he and a friend shot that gun a couple of weeks ago just to see what it was like. In court, the former HPD lieutenant testified he thinks that was a, quote, test fire, something investigators see with a lot of younger offenders. But listen, nearly 20 times during the interview, over and over again, Armstrong says, quote, "I had nothing to do with this."
Okay. So as you can hear, they said that, you know, they think it was a test fire. And so do I. I believe it was a test fire too. He put a pillow over that .22 caliber and he fired, and he wanted to know, because if his parents would have been like, "What is that?" Or anybody would have been like, "I heard a gunshot," or whatever. Then he probably would have said he was cleaning or whatever the case may be, and the weapon went off. That's 2 weeks prior to this incident is when he said that him and his friend was playing around with the weapon in his room. Okay. But there was at first he says, "Oh, I haven't fired that weapon since I was 8 years old." But then they're like, "Okay, but we found it." "Oh, I forgot." "Oh, yeah, 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I forgot about that part. I forgot." It was lie after lie after lie after lie. Now, I'm going to play a recording of some text messages they played in court that was between him and back and forth between him and his parents. And y'all will see some of the motive, because his parents is showing dissatisfaction with his behavior. Here we go.
He didn't react as months of private text messages to his mom and dad were shown and read to a jury. Strangers who will ultimately decide, was AJ just a normal kid acting out, or a 16-year-old killer sick of taking heat from his parents? Texts from October through May, up to 2 months before the murders. It shows a frustrated, exhausted pair of parents, Dawn and Antonio, telling AJ over and over he's a, quote, disappointment, that they're tired of his lying, his spending money, his bad grades. In April, Antonio Sr. texted, "AJ, I'm sick of getting reports about silly crap you are doing. Keep screwing up and doing silly things like speed through the park. I'm trading your car in for one that matches your maturity." Last morning. This text from Mom in June. "We gave you all and the best we had. We wanted the best for you. We provided the best education, bought you a great car to celebrate you. We tried to be open with you, and what was important to you, and all you do is lie to us, scheme behind our backs." Prosecutors showed data from AJ's iPad 24 hours before the murders. AJ's attorneys say it shows the teen acting normal.
He's have text messages with his girlfriend, "I love you, I miss you, sweetie," all that 16-year-old mushy stuff. And then all of a sudden, he executes his parents. It's nonsense. 2
ADT alarm experts testified about the security system, that it had been set hours before Dawn and Antonio were shot. Prosecutors say that shows no one broke in, that the killer was on the inside.
We're not necessarily claiming that the alarm system didn't work. The alarm system worked as it should have. The problem is that there are holes in the alarm system even when it functions like it's supposed to function. And I'm slowly in the middle of pointing that out. And tomorrow, when we get our expert on, we'll fully flush it out.
So in court, they had someone come up that works at an alarm system company and say that on average, ADT has 77 not false alarms, but like irregularities. How you say that word? 77 errors. I can't think of how you say the word irregularities. So they're saying that ADT has been known to have 77 irregularities in their system a month, meaning that it's either may go off there at the ADT building and may not go off at the house, or may be somehow triggered at the house and not go off at the building, or just whatever the case may be. But they're saying on average, which this is kind of actually scary if you have ADT, they're saying ADT customers have irregularities, 77 irregularities a month. They had AJ's defense team had someone to come in and say that shit. So they was trying to say that even though the alarm was set hours before this incident, that it could have malfunctioned. That's what they're trying to say. Okay. Something else I wanted to point out. I saw somebody say, what if the sister did it? I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. But to establish motive, right? When they try to establish motive in the courtroom, they say, well, were there any problems? You see, the text messages prove that mom and daddy was frustrated with AJ. Okay, mom and daddy was already texting AJ. When you text your kids, like we talk to our children all the time, right? But when you text your kids to say, I'm about sick of your shit, that's on a whole nother level. Do you understand what I'm saying? When you can sit there and talk to them back and forth out of your mouth. But when you're texting them and you saying something, to me, I feel like that's more. You're texting them saying, I'm sick of your shit. I'm going to take the car away and give you a car that matches your behavior. Do you understand what I'm saying? His parents was already showing frustration. They called him a liar. Basically in there, they said he's a liar. He lies. So whatever AJ was doing, his parents were not pleased. AJ was lying. AJ was disobeying them. AJ was doing things that made them want to take that car away and get him a car that matches his behavior. Now, you know, some parents would just take a car away. Obviously, they were nice parents. They're like, oh, we're going to take your, and I'm just throwing this out there, putting this out there. This doesn't mean this was real. But, oh, we're going to take your BMW away and buy you a Kia or a Toyota or some shit, right? Some kids would have been like, hey, I'm happy with anything. I'm happy with anything. Now, I don't have this on recording, but I do want to discuss this, okay? Because I know a lot of people is like, well, what if his sister did it? And what if I saw somebody put down in the comments, what if he let the intruder in and they did it and then he let them back out, or whatever the case may be? Well, one, the alarm had been set hours before the call, right? And there was no, you know, on the ADT, they would have showed, you know, did it unset right before the 911 call. They would have been able to see it unset and set back, okay? So they would have been able to see that. Also, the whammy that I think sealed the deal. Even though, to me, I feel like the alarm itself would have been it, right? I feel like the alarm, the test fire in the floor, his lack of, you know, crying and shit, his lack of emotions on the 911 call, the saying, not mentioning the masked man on 911, but mentioning that an African-American masked man in the interrogation. Again, saying that he didn't touch the weapon, but then finding out that he did touch the weapon. I would think that would have been enough, right? But listen to this bombshell right here. Apparently, when you go in for interrogation, they put a name tag on you. So they put a name tag on him, sticker, boom, on his chest with his name on it or whatever. When they checked him, they saw no gun residue on his hand, none of that or whatever. 7 years later, y'all, a detective or a forensic person, DNA person, took that name tag off his clothing, off the shirt that he wore the day of it. And guess what was found behind that name tag? The daddy's blood. AJ said he never walked into the room, remember? AJ told the 911 operator that he didn't go in there because when he saw the door crack, he knew something was wrong. He said, my mom and dad never cracked the door. He said when he heard the gunshot, right? He said it's interrogation. When he heard the gunshot, he ran to his room and hid in the closet until 911 came, or till the police officers came. He never went in the room. That's what he said. He never went in the room during the whole entire incident. But they found blood on his clothing behind the tag. What coincidence is that? All the other stuff, right? The lies, the inconsistencies, the alarm, him being calm demeanor, talking to 911 or whatever the case may be, they're like, nah, that doesn't prove that he unalived his parents. That doesn't prove that, right? But how did blood get on his shirt? All these years of going back and forth, 2 hung jurors, because some of them said, because it'd be a hung juror if one in there don't think that you're guilty, right? It only takes one to say, nah, I think he innocent. All the rest of them can say, I think he guilty, and just one can say, I think he innocent, and that's boom, mistrial, hung jury. But how are you going to justify blood being on your clothing that they took away 7 years ago? Now, of course, to this day, like I told y'all, his family is sticking behind him 100%. His grandmother, his auntie, his wife, because the boy when he got married, he was let out. This whole 7 years, this man been free. She said, why is he lying if he's innocent? Oh, because the grandmother said, because when you nervous, you lie. You just tell lies. She said, too much lying, inconsistencies in his story. AJ is guilty as hell. AJ is guilty. But because AJ has a cute face, because AJ plays sports, because AJ never had a record prior to this, right? Because AJ was calm speaking, because AJ is posed during interviews, because AJ cried during an interview, right? Let me bring this picture up right quick. Because AJ, oh shit, I thought I had it. Damn. All right, I don't have it. It was a picture of him crying. I thought I had that picture. Because AJ knew, let me see, do I have it over here? Here you go. Look at this sweet face, y'all. Just look at AJ with this sweet face. Look at AJ. Look at AJ with his sweet face. There go AJ. AJ was too sweet, too calm, too innocent. No, we gotta blame it on somebody else because AJ just so kind. He come from a good family. He has no reason to unalive his mom and dad. He was selfish. AJ was selfish. Now, somebody asked earlier, they said, what about the older brother? Okay, so the older brother was the wife's brother. I mean, the wife's child, right? I think it was a white child. I can't remember. They said it was the wife or the dad. I mean, or the daddies. But anyway, it was an older brother. They said that he didn't live too far away, right? They also said that he had some type of mental condition or something like that. So they was trying to paint the picture that the brother did it, but they was able to discount the brother because even AJ testified the brother wasn't even at home. He wasn't even over there. He did live around the street or whatever. They never tried the brother, right? But they did have the brother do testimony and stuff like that, right? His girlfriend and all this stuff or whatever. So the brother wasn't in the home, right? But through it all, AJ had some blood, y'all. I'm talking about blood, not spit or anything, even though that's DNA too, but blood. Did your daddy's blood end up on you? How? Yes, the grandmother, the whole family, y'all. And it's sad, actually, because after all the facts was read, boom, this happened. Boom, 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 boom. The grandmother feels that her grandson was unjustly charged and sentenced to 40 years. Actually, he is life with the possibility of parole, but the parole, he's not even eligible until he has served 40 years. This young fellow was out on bond. He didn't went and got married to his girlfriend at the time. He didn't have a son. He didn't went and did this interview, that interview, this interview. And the whole time, he was guilty of unaliving his parents. Now, I want to show y'all something. I played it. I want to show you the end of it. I'm going to jump to the end. They just found you guilty, right? Hold on. And this listen how when they tell him he's guilty. Watch his face, because if I'm guilty and now I'm about to get 40 years, oh, I ain't gonna be trying to wave at my wife, right? When I found out I'm getting 40 years, I'm gonna be about to faint. Especially if I'm innocent, I'm gonna say, oh, I'm gonna do something. You understand what I'm saying? This joker was a little bit too damn calm when they read his fate. Look at this.
On call at age.
Oh shoot! Hold on. Oh, I just did it. Hold on. Come on now.
As the verdict came down,
throughout
the case dragged on. 2 trials ended in hung juries.
I think the bottom line is it's really hard for people to understand why a 16-year-old would.
Hold on, come on. I want to hear him
juries.
Say. Oh, here we go. It's this way.
Defendant Antonio Armstrong Jr. guilty of capital murder.
A lot.
Okay, shit. Come on, more. Let's go back a little bit. Just look at him when they say guilty. Look.
Guilty of.
They just said that this man is guilty, right? He don't flinch. He don't put his head down. He just, look how he walks off calmly. Watch this.
Capital murder.
A lot has happened to AJ Armstrong since he made that 911 call at age 16. He's now 23 years old, and he's married.
I thought they was going to show it. Hold on.
He and his wife, Kate, have a son. She wept as the verdict came down, and no wonder. He was sentenced to life in prison.
The soonest he could get out of prison would be in 2063, after 40 years.
You see how he walked out? Now he waved. You can't see him wave, but just watch how he walk out.
Soonest he could get out of prison would be in 2063, after.
As he was walking, he waved at his wife and just kept walking. Now, of course, you know, people might say, oh, more that ain't, you can't say that, you know, you can't say that that's, you know, shows guilt. That joker is guilty. I feel like he knew he was going to be found guilty too. The blood being on the shirt after 7 years. How do you justify that? Justify any of that bullshit that happened. How do you justify testing a weapon and shooting in your own floor, in your room? Who does that? AJ did it. He was testifying. He wanted to know, did anybody, because you know when you hear gunshots around your house, you're going to look out the window, right? That's what you're going to do. First thing you hear gunshots, you're going to run to your window. You're going to be like, who is that? Who is that? Who is that? He did that fire a couple of weeks prior because he wanted to know, was anybody going to hear that? He waited until they were asleep. From what they're saying, he shot the mother twice. He wanted to make sure she was a goner. Now, I actually believe that he probably didn't want to unalive his dad because he actually said his dad is cool. Let me see if I can play that one. Hold on. Hold on, I got that one. I want y'all to hear how he says his dad's cool. Is this one it?
Hear it only on 13. Okay, so here's AJ Armstrong at HPD headquarters the morning of the interview. Evidence photos only we have. I'm going to set the stage for you. This part of the interview that you're about to hear, this is within the first 5 minutes. Crucial because it's the very first time Armstrong mentions the idea of an intruder, someone he later describes as a, quote, masked man who killed his parents. One of the detectives tells me this is the first major red flag. Listen.
I told him, I was like, my sister was asleep. She has like no idea what happened. I just went down there and woke her up. And then I explained to the cop like what I saw. And like, I just like personally felt bad because like I saw the guy, like I feel like I should have done something, but I mean.
Well, did you physically see somebody? Or?
No, like I saw him running. Like I saw him running.
Okay, but then you would have seen him go out a window or out a door or something?
No, because when like, you've been into the house, so it's like my parents' room's here, and then you'd have like, it's when you come out of my parents' room, you go this way, and like this window, it's impossible. Like that window's impossible to get out of.
Second floor too.
Yeah, second floor.
We knew that he never mentioned a masked intruder in the 911 call. And so if you actually saw that, that's the first thing you say whenever you call a 911. There's a guy in my house, there's a murder in my house, I heard gunshots. But that's not what he says. He says, I heard gunshots coming from my parents' room.
We are told that in the end, for jurors, it was Armstrong's own words from that interrogation and the 911 call that made it clear to them Armstrong was guilty.
So in the interrogation alone, right? Hold on, I'm gonna pull something else up because I want y'all to see this as well. But I can't do it from this side. I forgot. In the interrogation alone, the way he was talking. Like, you could tell, I don't know, I could tell he was lying. Like, no. So I saw him like, AJ, you didn't tell the 911 operator that you saw him? Like, no. And he says, well, did you see him run out of a window? Did you see him run out the door? Then he goes and tries to explain how it's impossible to get out this window. Well, yeah, okay, it is. So how did he get out, AJ? How did he get out? Hold on. She said, I'm late, but I'm here. She said, line, is he going? Exactly. I want to play this part right here. Hold on. This is crazy. Hold on. Let me see if it'll come up. Yeah, it is. Here we go. Now, this story was very interesting because, like, you can get mad at your parents all you damn want to. Hold on. But to do something what AJ did is crazy. Oh, what I was getting ready to say, I really don't think that his intentions was to unalive his father. His dad, it was said in the court that his dad actually woke up. Hold on, let me put it on pause because I want y'all to hear it. Pause. Pause. Okay, here we go. But his dad woke up. I believe he put the pillow over the mom and unalived her, right? But the daddy woke up and he had no choice but to shoot his father. That's what I think. Now, of course, they didn't say that. They said something like he shot the mother twice and the daddy once, live right away, right? He went to the hospital and he died at the hospital. But listen to this right here. Let me bring this up. This is them explaining about the DNA that was found, right? Hold on, let's get to this. I don't have this video. I didn't have it saved, so we just gonna have to see it like this. Hold on.
Prosecutors say he murdered his parents at the family's home back in 2016. Our Courtney Fisher has been following this case literally from the very beginning and joins us now live from the courthouse. Courtney?
Get it to Paul.
This new blood evidence was definitely the big takeaway today. Remember, this blood, the stains were found on the back of this HPD visitor's badge that was put onto AJ by...
Jeez. All right, here we go. Couldn't even get it to pause. Hold on, y'all. Unmute.
New blood evidence is now at the center of A.J. Armstrong's third capital murder trial. Prosecutors say he murdered his parents at the family's home back in 2016. Our Courtney Fisher has been following this case literally from the very beginning and joins us now live from the courthouse. Courtney?
This new blood evidence was definitely the big takeaway today. Remember, this blood, the stains were found on the back of this HPD visitor's badge that was put onto AJ by officers while he was in handcuffs hours.
Okay, I'm sorry. I said sticker, but it was a badge, okay? A badge.
After the murders, when he was taken downtown to HPD headquarters. Now, right before we were supposed to go to trial nearly 2 months ago, this blood, the stains were found, and that delayed trial. Here we are. We finally learned today from a DNA expert whose blood it was. She testified that it is very likely Antonio Armstrong Sr.'s blood. Now, these two blood stains were found when the state's blood spatter expert, Celestina Rossi, went to the HPD property room and looked at AJ's clothing. Rossi told the jury that a corner of this HPD badge was peeling a little bit. She saw a small stain. Rossi conceded to the defense exactly what they suggested, that, yeah, that stain could have gotten there from cross-contamination. But, she says, as she pulled the adhesive badge back further, she found another stain. Rossi said from her analysis, looking at the size and the shape of the blood, she thinks that second stain is an expiration stain. Well, what does that mean? As Antonio Sr. fought for his life, Rossi says that she thinks that he could have exhaled blood so faint, like dust. If it had landed somewhere on A.J. Armstrong, it could have fallen from his hair or his face onto Armstrong's shirt, preserved by that HPD sticker. But wait a second, hold on, said the defense attorney Rick DeToto. Several officers have already testified that there was no visible blood anywhere on A.J. Armstrong that morning. And DNA testing done back in 2016 at the Houston Forensic Science Lab found no blood was ever found on Armstrong's clothes, his t-shirt, his sweatpants, his sandals. Guys, we are up to 21 witnesses today. We think that all of the witnesses talking about the science, that part is done. So who do we expect to hear from tomorrow? We could hear from Hannah Pilon. She is Josh Armstrong's ex-girlfriend. And remember, this is all relevant because the defense has long theorized that Josh, AJ's older half-brother, could be the real killer. And Hannah was allegedly, she says, with Josh that night. The state could rest their case as soon as tomorrow. And then, of course, it's the defense's turn to start theirs. Of course, we'll be there when testimony resumes at 8:30 tomorrow morning. For now, reporting live from the courthouse, Courtney Fisher, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
Okay, so you see there that they were trying to say, wait a minute, when y'all test back in, hold on, let me put mute because it's about, okay. When y'all did the test back in 2016, you said you didn't find no blood nowhere. You didn't find nothing. Now, all of a sudden, 7 years later, you go back to a shirt and you look behind the badge and there's blood. Because she said she saw a little bit, but then when she took the badge off even further, there was a dried, bigger spot of Anthony's Senior blood. Now, listen to this. The grandmother, which is the father's mom, said, well, my son was involved in, what did she call it? Some type of, I want to say, I don't know if she said prostitute ring or something like that, but she tried to even say that she heard that her son was involved in some type of illegal group, okay? Even though that was her son that was unalive, she loved her grandson so much that she just wanted her grandson to be innocent, to the point that she would throw her son under the bus. She literally was like, he was involved in some type of prostitution ring. It could have been anybody. They did not like him and all this bull crap. All because she believes her grandson is innocent, and she still do to this day. I feel sorry for her, because with all the evidence that came forth, grandma still don't see her grandson as being capable of doing this. So of course, now that he's in prison, he did it when he was 16. They tried him as an adult. He got the, capital murder. He got 40 years before he's even eligible for parole. He's still getting these interviews and stuff like that, but that brother ain't getting out no time soon. He took his parents' life. Somebody put down there because he was spoiled. Spoiled and didn't like to be criticized, chastised. Yeah. But I think that there may be a darker part of AJ that didn't come out. But they were like, oh my God, he's just so, he wasn't the thug type, he was just so calm, cool, and collective. They were like, he couldn't have done it. He couldn't have. Look at him. Look, he's so well behaved. He dressed so nice. He talked so proper. He couldn't have done this. And he did it. He did it. The brother that they claimed that could have done it, because they were trying to blame it on everybody at this point, right? And I believe AJ would have let his brother take the fall. I do believe that. But not only did his brother, he was with his girlfriend, so that's a witness. Y'all know it could be, could not be. But the alarm had been set prior. What did brother get out? How did brother leave the house? How did brother get out? Did he beam me up, Scotty? But further, why is AJ telling all these lies in interrogation? AJ unalived his parents. Somebody said he planned it, and I believe he did. There was a written note, like I said, and the weapon was put on the note. And how do you come back from, I hadn't fired this weapon since I was 8. Oh, but I forgot. I test fired a couple of, he didn't say test fire, but we're going to say test fire. I test fired it a couple of weeks ago. Oh, I forgot to tell y'all that. Did anybody see this story and think that AJ was innocent beside the grandparents, beside the family? Because it's not just his grandmother that thinks he's innocent. It's other people in the family that's still alive that think AJ was just wrongfully accused, and still to this day think that he was wrongfully accused. She said he knew what he was doing for cover up. Yes, that 16-year-old was smart. He kept saying in the interrogation, you're not going to find no DNA nowhere. He said it. And that makes me think that he may have studied this out somewhere else. I don't know where that somewhere else can be, because you know how they can take your computer and look at all your history from probably, I don't know, maybe 5 years back. If you looked up things like how to get away without your DNA being shown, how to silence a weapon or anything like that. They didn't find any of that. However, who knows which computer that he used to look this up. I'm not sure, but he kept saying, you're not going to find my DNA nowhere. You're not going to find anything on, you're not going to find my DNA around the crime scene at all. Like, you're not going to find any of that. He kept saying it. This is a 16-year-old that's saying this, So did they not question the sister? I'm curious how she slept through the gunshots. Did they question anyone? Did they question the sister? Even when AJ's on a mission, he said his sister was asleep the whole time. And you got to think, on the 911 call, he woke the sister up. He's on the call saying, I think her name is Kayla. Kayla, wake up, Kayla. Kayla, wake up. Hold on. Let me see the date. AJ, hold on. You think the sister had something to do with it? I don't. She was 12. So AJ Armstrong's sister did testify. Her name is Kayra, Kayra. She did testify, but she testified and said that she is the one that set the alarm the night her parents was unalive. She said AJ woke her up, and she said it was urgent. He was frantic and excited. He woke her up and rushed her downstairs. That was her testimony. Now she didn't, she testified that she was awakened, She even testified that she waited with AJ at the end of the driveway until the officers separated the two. So the officers interrogated her as well. I didn't even know you can interrogate a damn 12-year-old. Can you? Shit. No, she was only asked questions at the scene, and the grandmother came, and they took AJ away in the police car, and Kyra she went with her grandmother. Okay. She said, I asked because she could have played a part because anyone can pretend to be asleep. Yeah, they can, but when you look at crime shows like this and stuff like that, they look at motive. They look for motive, and AJ had a motive. AJ had a motive. What would have been her motive? AJ had a motive, and they found the dad's blood on AJ 7 years later, but they found it. She said, how do you sleep to gunshots, though? I'm assuming they said that he put the pillow on afterwards. The pillow didn't have no gunshot in it. Maybe he put the pillow on and shot underneath. I don't know. But the pillow was found on their faces. Maybe he put the gun, he shot them, and then put the pillow, I don't know. The pillow didn't have a gunshot in it, though. She says, my son slept through me getting shot and my daughter getting kidnapped. My sister had to wake him up. So it's possible to sleep through it. Oh, my God, girl. Dan, you got a story, don't you? You might need to come on the panel and share your story. So Dion is saying that it is possible for someone to sleep through a gunshot. She said, where was this? This was in Houston, Texas. This was in Houston, Texas. Like I said, the father was a former NFL player. They had a decent home, decent upbringing. Obviously they had money. They bought him a car. He had a car at 16, a nice car, because they threatened to take away the nice car and give him a car that matched his attitude. Okay. She said, it was my ex-boyfriend. Sorry to hear about that. She said he had a silencer. They don't sound that loud. But I don't know. Oh, but you know what? The weapon did. Let me show you. Hold on. And the type of weapon it was. Hold on. Oh, listen, y'all. It says, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So listen to this. Now, I don't know a whole lot about weapons, okay? I'm not a weapon expert. But it said that he claimed he heard the gunshots, but they knew it was a lie because the type of weapon, which is a .22, it had a suppressor. So the type of weapon that it was is built with the type of weapon is built with the suppressor on it. So they said that it would have been impossible for him to hear it. That's why the sister didn't hear it. It would have been, because he said he was going downstairs. They had 3 floors in the house, okay? He said he was walking down the stairs when he heard it. They're saying that it would have been impossible for him to hear that weapon if he was outside of the room. God damn, what type of weapon is that? Shit. There's a weapon that you can't hear in the house? Yes, the 22 with the suppressor. I'm gonna look it up. It's extremely quiet, is what they say. This weapon was extremely quiet. So this is the weapon. Let me show y'all. There's a whole bunch of them, but I'm gonna show you what it looked like. Oh Lord, don't get no ideas, y'all. Hold on. These are the weapons with the suppressor on it. So y'all see this thing? Oh shit, I'm thinking that y'all see it. Hold on. This is a suppressor. It's coming up. You can't tell me he didn't know what he was doing. You can't tell me that he did not know what he was doing. She said, I'm sure other content creators, I'm sure other CC supporters have tragic stories as well. Life can be hard. What's CC supporters? What do you mean? Content creator supporters? What does that mean? I'm not sure. I'm not following you, Tammy, on that one. What are you talking about on that one? She said it also depends on where her room was. Her room was downstairs. My daughter and I are just waiting for the case to be over, but we are good. Thanks again, everyone. You are so sweet. So they had 3 floors, okay? His room was on the 3rd floor, and his room was on the 3rd floor that he ran back up to and got in the closet. Actually, I don't think her room was downstairs. Her room was on the 2nd floor. Their room was on the 2nd floor, okay? Because he said he came downstairs from the 3rd floor. He heard the gunshots. He looked over at his parents' room. He saw the door was cracked, and he ran back upstairs and got in the closet on 911. And dialed 911 from the closet, okay? I wanted y'all to hear the whole 911 call. Hold on. I thought I had it up, but apparently I had the wrong one. Hold on, AJ. I want you to hear the 911 call because she asked him some things in the call. This is the one I thought I put. Okay, so this must not be it because they don't get a whole thing. All right, here we go. We about to listen to it. Interesting case. Interesting case. Interesting case. AJ was no saint, honey. AJ was definitely no saint. Here we go. We're going to play this call. Go get your snacks right quick while I get it together. Oh, AJ. All right, y'all ready? Hey, everybody just entering the chat. We just listening to the 911 call from AJ. Hold on. AJ Armstrong that he made on July 29th of 2016. Come on now. Thank you so much.
Delaware 911, where's your emergency?
I'm never sleep. I heard 2 gunshots downstairs in my parents' room.
Okay, let's say that address one more time.
I'll never sleep.
Okay.
He said, I just heard shots coming from my parents' room. Now, listen, let me just say this right quick. Most of the time you hear shots, do you know where they're coming from? It's been times, y'all know I live in Vegas by the strip, right? It's been times that I've heard shots. Like him all the time. And I'm thinking it's coming from over here when it's really coming from over there. Like, All right, listen, y'all. Just listen to the conversation. Oh, Jesus. AJ. Just AJ.
Okay, you're going to be in Houston. Stay on the line, okay?
Houston 911, do you need medical, police, or fire?
Going to be police. He's got with a transfer. Paul Meadow. He's whispering, advising he just heard gunshots in the parents' room.
What's the cross street at the corner? Is this a house?
Yes.
What's your phone number? And your name?
AJ.
Any medical attention needed?
I heard gunshots, so I don't really know.
In your parents' bedroom?
Yes. You have to whisper.
Can you hear anything else?
I don't know.
Okay.
If you don't go on that day, if you don't go.
Did it sound like a handgun, rifle, or shotgun?
I'm not there. I'm out there. I'm not there. Anything like that. I know I have to. It's cool. It's there.
Okay. Can you hear anything else that's going on?
Yeah. I don't know.
Okay. Your parents' bedroom, where are they at in the house? Okay. I've already dispatched police to Palmetto. Is that correct? Yes. Cross street is Ferris. And do you know if anyone needs medical? Okay. And where are you at in the house? You're on the third floor? Okay, I'll have police on their way. I'm just trying to make sure if I need to send an ambulance as well. Yes, just sit there. And is your door closed? You don't have a door. Okay. Okay, don't leave from the safety of your room. Your sister's downstairs on the first floor? How old is she?
12.
Okay, police are on their way. I'm just getting more information. Does it sound like anything else is going on without leaving from your location?
I'll let you know when I get up.
And you're at Palmetto, Palmetto. Is that correct? Okay. Okay. Police is almost there. Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, if you hear anything, it might be the police because they're almost on their way. They're like right on your street. Okay. Do you have a gate around your house? Is there like a gate code?
I don't know how to explain it. It's like two houses. It's like imagine I'm in one house, sit down in the middle and share it with my neighbor.
Okay. So which one is your house?
You come down the street, you have to pass up this daycare that's on the right, and then there's a house on the right, but after the daycare, then it's my house. There should, no, I think my truck is in front of the house, I'm not sure.
Did they knock on the door yet?
Mm-mm. I see lights outside of my house.
Okay.
What I do?
Okay, when they knock on the door, you can go down there as well. Is anyone on the first level?
No, it's just our living room kitchen.
Okay. Just listen for the police and listen for instructions.
Okay.
We still haven't knocked on the door?
I don't need, I'm
Okay. So
Once we found that, I think that's when everything else started.
some comments, people saying that they need more evidence because did they find any residue on his hands? No residue was found on his hand. No real physical evidence outside of that blood splatter. However, there were other little things that happened that outside of this particular night. Okay. One of the other things besides, I told y'all the gunshot the test fire that was from his third floor bedroom, and I'm assuming it was a loft that they turned into a bedroom because he said that it didn't have a door. So I'm gonna say it was a third floor loft, right? The hole from the third floor loft on his floor was found in the parents' bedroom. So he was aiming to his parents' bedroom, okay? Another thing they found was a burn mark. And let me read the exact how they said they found it. It was a burn mark they found on the floor, but let me see how they found it. There was a burn mark on the carpet at the top of the stairs on the second floor, okay? When detectives questioned AJ about the burn mark, he claimed a few weeks prior to the murder, he was playing with matches and accidentally dropped it, okay? He said that AJ initially lied to his father about how the burn mark occurred, but eventually he admitted it and they talked about it. So the prosecutor tried to say that he tried to burn the goddamn house down 2 weeks prior, okay? All right, he tried to burn the house down. He tried to fire a weapon through his floor down to his parents' room, okay? He attempted to unalive them more than once, okay? He tried to set the whole damn house on fire. Started the damn fire at the top of the steps of the second floor. Said that he was playing with matches and one dropped. Come on now. Why are you playing with matches on the second floor if your room is all the way on the third floor? Why are you firing in your floor? Oh, yeah, and there was nobody. I forgot to tell y'all this. They said, who was the friend that you was showing off in front of that fired the weapon? He couldn't locate him. There was no friend to come testify that they were there when AJ was showing them how to use a 22. Okay? Let's go on a little bit more. When he was arrested, he was initially charged as a juvenile. They took him to juvenile jail, right? Juvenile, which is juvenile jail. Because of all the back and forth and it took it so long, they transferred it to adult court. Okay? Yes, but this joker, listen to this right here. He planted this. This mofo planted this. She said second floor where your 12-year-old sister was. Yes, that part. You dropped the match at the top of the second floor stairs. Come on. So where they can actually see a burn mark? Come on, AJ. You just so happen to just be walking by. Yeah, okay. It says, according to the audio of the interrogation, detectives made clear to Armstrong that they believed that his story wasn't adding up. That they believed that he knew more than what he was saying about how his parents ended up shot in their room. Now, you heard on the 911 call where he said, I heard shots coming from my parents' room. Okay? They asked, do you need medical? Oh, I don't know. I just heard shots. They've already said the weapon had a silencer on it. Okay? Not silencer. They what did they call it? Oh, sorry. It wasn't a silencer, a suppressor. It's like a silencer, but it's a suppressor that comes with the gun, with the weapon. Oops, sorry. She said the 911 call said a lot without saying, I'm just saying Yeah, I mean, 911 callers are trained to ask certain questions, right? They are trained, so they know, yeah, they are trained to ask certain questions. And, and that's what she did. He didn't say on the 911 call that he saw the masked person, but he did say, and y'all heard, he whispered it. She didn't entertain it, but he said, "How did you get in here? How did you get in here?" Now he was whispering the whole time, but why we hear that part? Why did we hear that part? She said, "If it was me, I would be telling the dispatcher, hurry up and get here. I'm scared. I would have been breathing hard and crying. I probably would have jumped out the window for safety, but that's me." But his sister was in there. And they said the floor that he was on, the third floor, you can't just jump out the window. If it's premeditated, I'm sure he was as prepared as his young ass mental capacity would have let him to be. Yeah. She said, "Wow, this is just crazy." Yes, it is crazy. So he unalived his parents. Just tune in. Yes, he unalived his parents and got away with it for 7 years, girl. 7 years and 3 trials it took for them to convict him. The third trial. 2 mistrials because everybody didn't see it the same. He didn't sound scared or frantic. No, not to me either. I know. Trust me on this. I know. People I'm listening from the beginning. This is sad. Yeah, it is sad. It's sad that his selfish ass did what he did. Oh yeah, I forgot. They said when they said what kind of gun was it? He said, "I don't know. I don't know too much about guns. I think it was a 15." He says, "However, let me see what he says." He says, "But I know my dad has a gun." Excuse me. They may flag me for this, but has a weapon underneath the. And then he went silent, right? And then he said to himself, he went silent and said, "God, where did he keep his GUN?" He's saying this while he's on the call with 911. He said, "I think it was a 15. I don't know. I know my dad keeps one in his." God, where does he keep that weapon? That's what he's saying to the 911. Then he says, "I think he keeps it in his night drawer at night by the bed." It says, "You just can't escape how powerful the 911 call was." Jordan tells ABC, "There is no logical argument other than the defendant is guilty. In fact, when folks in the community try talking about whether he did it or not, they never talk about his own words. He tried to tell them and he can't escape it." Armstrong has always maintained he did not unalive his parents. He has filed for an appeal. His family, who has supported him from day one, said they will keep fighting for his freedom. They said that they would keep fighting for his freedom. They're gonna waste all the money they have in their bank account. This dude is guilty as charged, honey. He popped his mama twice, his daddy once, while they were sleeping. They even did a tester to see could someone from the 3rd floor hear that type of weapon go off on the 2nd floor, and they could not. But he did say he was walking downstairs. He told the police, he told the 911 that he was walking down the stairs. She said, "If he didn't, the question is who did?" He did it. It was only 4 people in the house. She said he's guilty the more he speaks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And listen, there was a break-in. The daddy was also a personal trainer that had a fitness center. He was a motivational speaker, personal trainer, and a bunch of other little small things, right? He had a break-in prior to this at one of his personal one of his gyms, fitness centers. They tried to say, "Oh, people was after him. They were really, really after him." They investigated and found out they had nothing to do with this. The personal trainer break in, they found out about it. It had nothing to do with this right here. And then the note that was written. Let me tell you what the note said. That was written. I think it said something about, I see you, I'm going to get you. Hold on. Hold on. Let me tell you what it said. There was a note on the kitchen counter by the weapon that reads, hold on. It says, oh God, hold on, let me go back. Good Lord, it's making me, okay, hold on. I want to tell you what it read. It says something about, I see you, I'm gonna get you, but let me see. That 16-year-old unalived his parents, baby. I'm gonna get to the letter. I'm gonna get to the letter. I have been watching you for some time. That's what it said. Yes, it said, I have been watching you for some time. And that was left by the weapon, okay? And so he had an interview, right? And they said, why haven't you showed no emotions? Because they were trying to say, oh, he got to be guilty because this boy hasn't showed no emotions, this and the other. They said, why hasn't the 16-year-old shown no emotions? So I don't know if the lawyer set it up or somebody set it up. And the very next interview that he had was the first time that he cried. And this picture right here. This was during the interview when they came out and said, up until this day, he hadn't showed no emotions. So he go and does this interview. These are the first tears from the incident. Now, of course, people say, oh, guys don't really show no emotions. They don't do the same as women and this, that, and the other. Okay. But this dude was 16 years old. You just heard not one, but both of your parents, right, are unalived, okay? Now you and your sister are left to basically go stay with your grandparents or whatever the case may be, but you no longer have your mother and your father. This is the first time he showed emotion during an interview. And look how, I don't know, I see guilt all in his face. Putting his head down, you know what I mean? He just seemed guilty to me. Guilty as hell. But yeah, that was his first day he showed emotions. He did not cry before then, And a lot of people say, oh, you being shocked. You being so shocked that you can't, you can't cry. And one more thing. So somebody said about the residue on his hand, that type of weapon, which shoot, maybe go get one. Let me stop. Not only is it very quiet and you can't hear the weapon outside the room, which somebody testified to, they also said that it is unusual for you to find weapon residue on it after it's fired. It's unusual. So that's a type of weapon that don't leave that residue or make a very loud noise. That's what it is. So he had a very good weapon. She said that interview was a plot for his innocence. Yes, it was. And I guarantee you that they told him to cry in that interview. I guarantee you, because he did it right after they said that he showed no emotion whatsoever. He did the interview. I guess he said, oh shit, I need to show some type of emotion, So that's AJ Armstrong. Yeah, I mean, it's a sad story. threw his whole freaking life away. Now, of course, he you know, this is the United States. They allow you so many appeals, but I believe in my heart that AJ did it. I don't believe he's gonna get out. Like I said, behind the badge was 7 years later, found blood. They never even tried to explain it. You know, actually, I think they did try to explain it, but the way they tried to explain it, it didn't fly. You know, he never went in the room with his parents. He never went in the room. He never walked into the room from the time he said he heard the gunshots to the time the police met him at the end of the driveway. He never walked into the room. How did your father's blood get on that fit that he was wearing that day? Now, any other time you can say, oh, that was father's teeth, whatever the case may be. And oh, they tried to say, this is what they tried to say. They tried to say, you know how when detectives collect things for evidence, they tried to say because they collect all this, and this, that it could have got contaminated with some of the stuff that they collected from the house. They were like, oh, okay, you want us to buy that? Okay, then, but why is it behind the badge? How did he get behind the badge on his shirt? Behind the badge. Sticker badge, whatever the hell. How did he get behind there? I think it was a sticker. But how did the blood stain get behind it? Now I'm going to show y'all this picture right here of him. And listen, they had initially, like I said, charged him as a juvenile. Now, I ain't trying to be no judge and jury. But I believe he's guilty. And just look at his eyes for a second, y'all. Just look at his eyes. I looked at his eyes and I said, this boy ain't innocent. You probably like, you look at his eyes and say he ain't innocent. His eyes do not scream innocent to me. I see no empathy in those eyes. None whatsoever. I don't see sorrow. I don't see empathy. I don't see, I didn't do it. I see I did it all in his face. Now, I could be dead ass wrong because, we all form our own opinion. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody want, think differently. But I see anger. I see disturbed. I see I'm trying to get away with this bullshit is what I see. That's what I see. I see I need to get away with this. That's what I see. Everybody can see something different. I see, oh, I'm trying to get away. I'm trying to get away. I see if I can get away, this is about to be the bomb. These is his parents right here. His mama and his daddy. His mama name is Don Armstrong. The daddy is a senior, so his name is Antonio. So AJ stands for Antonio Jr. The daddy was senior, Antonio Senior. And Don was the mother. Beautiful, beautiful married couple. They didn't deserve this. Like I said, there was text messages where they expressed disappointment in his behavior, told him that he needs to stop lying so much. Like I said, he tried to set the goddamn house on fire. Now, he tried to set the house on fire. That didn't work. Then he test fired a shot through his floor to their room. That didn't work. So I guess he said, well, God dang it, I'm gonna have to do it myself. I'm gonna have to do it myself. And he put a pillow on his head because he probably was ashamed after he did it. Now, this is at 16 years old. She said, this young man has lived a life of that many of us wish we could. Yes. You know, when you privileged, man, it sounds like when you raise these privileged children, they want more and more and more from you. They ain't satisfied. Look at him. Unalived his parents. Entitled. You are absolutely right, RL. RL Cooper. Entitled. Look at him. Beautiful wife. Beautiful father. That dude looked really nice. Nice, nice older gentleman. Very nice. Antonio Armstrong Sr. He probably was upset because he couldn't, satisfy his parents because of his behaviors, right? So I guess he said, oh, well, let me get rid of my mom. Him and his mom actually had problems, Him and his mom had a difficult relationship. He said that, me and my mom had problems. Me and my dad, we was cool. But me and my mom got on my nerves. He didn't actually say that, but he said it. Me and my mom had our issues. Yeah, mom was disappointed in you. Put it back up there for a second. Mom was disappointed, And daddy, 9 times out of 10, is going to ride with mom. So he put 2 gunshots in her head. Pop, pop. Daddy woke up, saw him, and he had to, pop dad. And he cried during this interview, the one I told y'all about. And he selfishly said, let me put that picture back up here. Where is that? Where that damn picture at? Hold on. Let me get that picture of him crying. He said something. Oh, it's telling me I got too much stuff up here. Remove, remove, remove. He said, I'm never going to get a chance to see them again. Oh, yeah, because of you, AJ. Because of you. Me and my sister never going to get a chance to see them again. I just be thinking about that. We'll never get a chance to be around them. Yeah, well, because of you, AJ. During this interview, that's what he was saying. She said he looked nice or more. You're going to get you in there. She says, more your content keeps people engaged. Thank you, Brianna. Oh, y'all want to see the interview? Do y'all want to see that interview? Somebody just said play the interview. Y'all let me know if y'all want to see that interview. More than 2 people have to say it. I haven't seen nobody yet. Let me know. I'm pull it up just in case. I see sure. I see yes, play the interview. I need one more. It's 57 minutes long. Do y'all want to see it? It's two different interviews. Hold on. Let me see if I can get this interview. Let me see if somebody broke it down. Hold on 1 second. Okay, I got one that's only 22 minutes. Okay, here we go. I got one that's 22 minutes. This would be a good one. Let me remove this.
We, the jury, find the defendant and...
Okay, hold on. Remove. Let me remove that one. Here we go. I'm going to... I got one that's 22 minutes. Here we go.
Antonio Armstrong Jr., guilty of capital murder as charged.
After 7 years and 3 trials, we finally have a verdict in the AJ Armstrong case. You know, if you've been with us here on ABC 13, he was found guilty, convicted of killing his parents from back in 2016. So this has been a long process. Courtney Fisher, I know you've sat down with AJ at least twice.
I clicked on the wrong thing, y'all. Hold on. I'm looking just for the interview. Exclusive interview as he awaits trial. Well, is this it? Let's see if this one's it. I thought I just clicked on that. I'll play just a snippet, like
Almost done with your essay?
like R. Kelly.
I and my friends play football and stuff. Minus.
Hold on. Is this it? If this one's not it, I know where I can get it from. Yeah, this is a snippet of it, okay? This one is only 8 minutes. So let's see if this one right here works. Just a little small portion of it. When you have time, go and do the whole 55-minute one. It's actually 2 interviews out there. 2 of them. Joker just going all. Somebody said, "Play it, Captain." That's funny. All right, listen to this mofo.
AJ relaxes around them, and every
Hold on, let me start back over.
so on. The inner circle around Antonio Armstrong Jr. is fiercely protective. His grandmother's childhood friends, the girlfriend, AJ relaxes around them, and every so often we get a glimpse of it. But it's tough to be a normal teenager when some people think you killed your parents. AJ's 2019 has been spent in a courtroom instead of a college classroom, learning forensics instead of football plays, surrounded by attorneys and judges and piles of evidence. This is reality for AJ. Not how he pictured it, because back in 2016, AJ's family was pretty perfect. Beautiful, successful, smart, and strong. Parents Dawn and Antonio Sr. were passionate about health and wellness. They owned gyms. He was an ex-NFL player.
I want you to pick back up those visions and those dreams that you once had.
A personal trainer, a motivational speaker, an assistant pastor at his mother's church. Dawn loved big, often posting on Facebook how proud she was of her kids.
Now, I didn't know he was an assistant pastor. Good Lord.
How deeply she loved Antonio. On July 24th, "This guy is my everything. He completes me in every way. He's my best friend. And after almost 2 decades, it's the simple things that make us happy." 5 days later, the couple would be dead, murdered while they slept in their Southwest Houston home, both shot in the head with Antonio Sr.'s gun from his nightstand. 1:14 a.m., AJ called 911, whispering to the operator he heard gunshots from his parents' room and he was hiding in a closet. AJ woke up his 12-year-old sister, Kara. Police arrived. AJ disarmed the security system, unlocked the door, and let officers in. Hours later, the 16-year-old high school junior was charged with killing his mother and father. Why do this interview? Why talk to me?
I mean, I feel like people probably would like to hear from me and just hear the things that like I have to say, and just, I mean, I'm always quiet about things, so I'm sure they probably would like to know what AJ has to say.
Everyone has, I'm sure you've talked about this at length. I have to ask.
Now, let me say this right quick, you guys. No one had heard AJ's side of the story outside of the interrogation before this interview. AJ wasn't talking. And it was probably advised by his attorney, but AJ wasn't saying shit. So when she says, "What made you want to do this?" it was because people were saying, he ain't saying nothing, he ain't crying, he ain't doing none of that. Like, what's up? So that was the reason why he did this as well, because people were saying, you know, like, why is he so quiet, so to speak?
You just one time. Did you kill your parents?
No. Never. Never.
What do you want to say to them?
I mean, for me, it's as simple as I didn't do it. It's just as simple as that. I've been adamant about that since the moment everything happened, from the moment I was on the phone till this day, I've said I didn't do it. I'll never change from that because I know it's the truth. And for me, that's just, that's just the one thing that I really want people to know, because being in this situation and just that being a constant reminder that someone would even think that it's something that I would do, like, it's just, like, it hurts. It's frustrating.
There are people out there watching this who think, yeah, he did it. He killed his parents. How do you take that in?
If you would have asked me that a couple years ago, I would have told you it genuinely, genuinely bothered me. But now, with me growing up and maturing, I can't sit here and allow it to affect me, because at the end of the day, not everyone's gonna love me. I'm not gonna be everyone's favorite. People are gonna take things how they want to take things.
AJ has always said an intruder killed his mother and father, broke into the house without setting off the alarm, and shot Antonio Sr. and wife Dawn. But AJ was charged, spent 8 months in juvie jail, had dozens of court appearances, and nearly 3.5 years after the murders, finally, the trial. He was now 19 years old. While his high school friends were off at college, AJ sat in a courtroom looking at autopsy photos of his mom and dad, listening to police call him a killer.
Bring us back to those moments where you did break down in court. What was going through your mind?
I mean, it's just seeing pictures of my parents again, just sitting there and rereading text messages. I just put myself back in the situation, and I just reimagine just having those conversations with my parents, whether I was getting yelled at or whether I was doing something good, like, just to have that again, just like 5 minutes, if that's what it was, just to have that again with my mom, my dad, that's all I want.
Oh, you lying mother. You can't tell me y'all can't see straight through that joker. All right, so I said that was the first time him breaking down. He did break down in court, but he ain't really cried. He just put his head down and shook his head like this or whatever. It wasn't no, the tears it was the interview, but in court he put his hand down on the thing, seeing his parents' picture. But y'all tell me, just talking about the death of some people's parents make them cry. And some people's parents be gone for a long time, right? Some people's parents could be gone for 5, 6, 10 years. And just talking about the death make them cry. But on top of it, talking about how someone broke into your home and unalived them and took them unexpectedly, and it took him a minute to cry. He had to freaking poke himself in the eye to cry. He cried because he's guilty. That's what he was crying for, because he was guilty. Who thinks that? I mean, who still thinks that? Which he got charged. He still got an appeal. He got a chance to appeal. But y'all still think, is there anybody in here that still feel that he could have not done it? Somebody said, was his dad an NFL player? Yes, he was. She says, so sad, ambitious and hardworking parents birthed an entitled, slothful child. Yep. He needed that interview to pay them lawyers. He did the interview because they were saying that he showed no emotion, that he showed no empathy, no emotion. So he's like, because the people really want to hear from me. They really want to hear my side. I've been quiet for so long. She's like, well, how does it feel to be called a murderer? Well, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I felt really, really awful. But just 2 years later, I don't feel that bad. I've accepted the title. That's basically what he's saying. I don't feel that bad because I understand everybody's not going to like me. What? If that's the case, the guys, they call it the Central Park 5. The Central Park 5 spent years in jail for a crime that they did not commit. Okay. They got out and wanted to clear their name because they did not like being called what they were being called, right? And you mean to tell me that AJ said 2 years ago it would have bothered me, but now it don't bother me because I understand that everybody not gonna like me, but it bothered the Central Park 5 people. They didn't like being labeled as what they were labeled as. But he okay with people saying that he unalived both his parents because he realized that everybody not gonna like him. Make it make sense. Somebody is accusing you of unaliving your parents and you innocent, it's gonna always bother you. It's gonna take no 2 years to go by and you say, well, it's okay. I understand that everybody's not gonna like me. AJ, cry me a freaking river. You know? She says, AJ, don't do another interview, or better yet, do all the interviews you can because you did that one. He did. She said, hell no, he guilty and is. She said, I see guilt all over his face. Yep, this was really heartbreaking. Yes, it was. It was very heartbreaking for a 16-year-old to unalive both of his parents for no real reason outside of they're noticing that they don't have a perfect child. That's it. That's all. You know? So anyway, I'm going to close out. Do y'all, anybody have any questions? If not, I'm going to close out. I did see a couple of people in the comments that said similar, you know, that they've experienced something like this. My heart goes out to anybody that have to deal with anything like this, you know? Either whether your family, your parents was unalived by an intruder or a family member, or if you know of a situation like this, it's all sad. But my heart goes out to anybody that has ever had to deal with anything like this. And my heart and prayers go out to the family. And the reason being is because they're getting ready to spend every dime that they have fighting an appeal instead of accepting the truth. Now, I know people probably say, oh, you know, how can you say that? That's their family. They're supposed to fight. They're supposed to fight. They're supposed to fight. Mm-hmm. But when you know, I don't think they know, actually. I was going to say, when you know a person is guilty, don't spend the money. But I don't think that they believe he's guilty. I think, especially the grandmother, I think, I need y'all to see the interview with the grandmother. And I swear I'm going to get off, okay? Let's just see the interview with the grandmother, okay? And then we're going to get off. I don't want to keep y'all too long. I just want you to see the interview with the grandmother because she is I don't even know how to say it. Just listen for yourself. Okay, hold on. This is the grandmother.
These CEOs started with nothing.
Let's let that pass first. She said, I think they should have put him in a mental institution, not jail. Why do you say that, Aaliyah? Why do you say that? Okay, here we go. But when the grandmother come up, I'll undo it. She said, I know of an intruder story. The guy got 25 years and only served 11 or so. So he got parole on Friday. Oh, wow. That young man has a strong village. He does have a strong village.
Try AJ for the third time. I thought it was complete. I feel like it was a political decision to try AJ, and I felt that they would continue trying him. And it's why we felt that we had to get him not guilty of.
Now, I will say this. And I don't know, maybe if anybody is down there have a legal or some type of law degree or something to that, I can try you after a hung jury. I mean, don't throw it out. You know that they can keep trying you as long as they have a hung jury until they find you guilty or innocent. But I don't know, because I always heard that it costs too much to retry a case. Excuse me. So if they have a hung jury, they throw it out. Am I missing something here?
The saga would not end.
We were devastated. We couldn't believe it. We've lost Antonio and Don. We're no closer to who murdered them. But here you are putting us back in court again. We knew that AJ was going to either be found innocent or it was going to be another hung jury. And they wanted to move on with their lives. They had a beautiful wedding. They were happy. They were planning their future.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like,
I wanted y'all to see the one where she actually said she believed that he was innocent. Hold on. Oh, come on. AJ Armstrong grandmother. Hold on. I want y'all to hear where she actually thinks that her grandson, interview. Okay, interview. I hope it's not too long. That was 31. That's well, is this one it? Let's see if this one's it. Let's see if this is the grandmother one.
Somebody could think that now the Armstrongs can rest in peace. Shame on you.
A grandmother standing by her grandson despite a guilty verdict.
I would just like to say, I know right now, without a shadow of a doubt, that AJ is not guilty.
Tonight, this grandmother opens up about the trial, the case against her grandson, AJ Armstrong, and the fight ahead.
We wanted to know who she believes committed the crime, and she answered that question. KPRC2 investigator Joel Eisenbaum conducted extensive interviews with the people central in this trial. Joel, some interesting revelations.
Yeah, I would think so. You know, there was a gag order during the trial, so we really weren't hearing from that many people. But the prosecution, the defense, the family, it was evident sitting down with each and every one of them. They've been holding a lot in.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Antonio Armstrong Jr., guilty of capital murder.
It was a murder trial 7 years in the making. Okay, you guys are good? Okay. Thank you so much for being here, both of you guys. But you have not heard the whole story. If AJ didn't kill your son and your daughter-in-law, who did? A KPRC2 investigates exclusive. The people at the center of the AJ Armstrong murder trial.
I don't know who did it. I know it was my grandson, AJ. He's not guilty.
Kay Winston has lost a lot. In 2016, her son and daughter-in-law were murdered in their bedroom. Her grandson has now been found guilty of shooting and killing them. He was 16 at the time. Now, at 23 years old, it's life in prison for AJ Armstrong.
Since the trial, the day of the verdict, it's like we relived what happened 7 years ago, this time just worse. The family's devastated.
You've talked to AJ, you say, every single day.
Yes, I do. AJ has his good days, he has his low days. We've all cried. I don't recall being as devastated as I was that day. We feel like we've been prosecuted by our city that we live in. We're law-abiding citizens and we support our grandson.
If he serves the minimum 40 years behind bars, he'll be 63 when he gets out.
I will never publicly criticize his family at all. They're victims too. It is what it is. And the family decided to rally behind AJ Armstrong. In the process, his older brother was also accused in open court. That I'll never understand. I don't know how we could have presented a better case, a more clear case.
3 separate trials with a one-of-a-kind dynamic, including a defense attorney who was good friends with Antonio Armstrong Sr., but defended the person accused of murdering him.
Who I think committed the crime?
Yes, who do you think?
Is the person that walked out the door with all the evidence. Who is that? I don't know. Ask HPD. Not my job.
There's no room for nothing else, no weakness, no failing, no failure, no, you just can't. You know, you have to keep going, you have to keep fighting, and you have to keep trusting.
And the family's fight isn't over yet. They have a pending criminal appeal and a federal civil rights lawsuit against the city of Houston.
And frustration certainly palpable.
Right there, you see the father friend, well, one of the defendant attorneys was a friend of the father's, and he thinks AJ is innocent as well. You heard him actually say, I don't know who did it. Basically the security system company, right? He said, I think it was the guy that walked right out the door with the evidence. Walked out the door, who reset the alarm? But he said the alarm was faulty. I don't know if I told y'all that. They proved that ADT, somebody came in and said ADT has had 77 faulty alarms in 1 month or something like that. She said, wow, these people need help. Yes, they really think that their grandson is innocent. There's a lot of people that thinks he's innocent, but majority of people thinks that he actually did it. You know, she says no 16-year-old, no 16-year-old can master self-control like he did at the appropriate time. I feel so bad for them all, including AJ. You think that he didn't do it? She said, if additional evidence is presented, a new trial, I'm not sure, but confident. I don't know him. So you think he's innocent? RL. She said he didn't budge. You hear me? He didn't budge. His mannerism is abnormal. I'm just saying. She said they probably will give him less time or get him off in the appeal process. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Let's just see then. Let's see if AJ gets an appeal. I think he's allowed like three appeals or something like that. Let me see, because I know it's a limit. I had to put with a capital murder because that's what it was. He can appeal. Well, he didn't get the death penalty. It says 1. He only gets 1. One appeal. Ooh, Lord. She said, to all in the path of this storm tonight, info tomorrow will be safe. My kids' school canceled for tomorrow. Where are you at, Maryland? She says, no, I think he did it. He planned. Oh, you think he did it? Okay, RL. She said, he planned this out and how his story keep changing and know what he did. Yes. Denied on all appeals. Premeditated, if you ask me. I think he avoided the death penalty because of the lack of evidence. That may be true. This joker only gets 1 appeal. 40-year sentence and he only get 1 appeal? Jesus Christ. Oh my God. She said Houston don't have the death penalty. Okay, they don't. I didn't know that. He gonna be old when he gets out. Yeah, they said 60. He's 22 now. He's 22, so he's going to be 62 before he's even eligible. No, he's 23. So he's going to be 63 before he's even eligible. Grandma's probably going to be gone. I don't know. I think grandma might be in her grave, still trusting and believing that he going to get free. He'll be free at 63, grandma. She said, which will be denied. Tanya, you think the appeal will be denied? He gets one appeal. Oh my God. We're gonna wrap that up. It's been 2 hours and 20 minutes. I thank y'all. Look, we got 87 people in here. Make sure y'all hit that thumbs up. If you enjoyed hearing about AJ Armstrong, really his parents, the ones that got unalived, AJ was found guilty. If you enjoy hearing this story, support your girl via Cash App, y'all know what I'm saying, super chat or super sticker will be greatly appreciated, honey. But make sure y'all hit that thumbs up. Do that for me. And I'm about to sign off. Thank y'all so very much. Appreciate y'all. Tomorrow, different story. Bye.